Hey friends, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about being a modern photographer. In today's day and age, there's millions of bajillions of photos being uploaded to the internet every moment. How do you stand out as a photographer in today's digital age? My practical suggestion is threefold. First of all, cross-pollinate. The basic concept of cross-pollination is taking different skills and different assets that you have as a photographer and applying it to your photography and making it more unique. So for example, if you study computer science, how can you study and apply computer science to your photography? So maybe the way you can differentiate yourself as a photographer is that you could be photographer slash programmer or even make apps for photographers. Another tip is, let's say you studied film or cinema or you're interested in it. How can you make your photos look more cinematic to stand out? Personally, I studied sociology in school, and the way I was able to cross-pollinate my interest in sociology and photography was to essentially become a street photographer, because to me, street photography is applied sociology using a camera. Generally, with meaningful differentiation, it's the biggest way for you to step outside the box as a photographer and to be unique. The concept of meaningful differentiation is that obviously you're different from other photographers, but why is what you're doing meaningful? So for example, one of the big things I believe in is open source information. Information that's open, that's easily accessible, and then can empower the viewer. And the way I was able to stand out as a photographer is to keep my things open and free, whereas all the other photographers out there were charging for the presets, their ebooks, and the information. And it actually ended up benefiting me a lot because the more open I was and the more generous I was, the more people started to visit my website, and also it increased my Google search engine optimization ranking, which meant more people went to my website. And it's been a good strategy for me that the more open and generous I am, the more it's benefited my audience, and also the more it's benefited me. Also, in terms of being a modern photographer, is to be productive and to be prolific. I personally think that the more you produce, the better. And my practical tip for you is the 80% principle. Basically, the 80% principle is make whatever product or make whatever video or make whatever photograph that's 80% good enough to you, and just hit publish. And the more you produce, the more confidence you're going to build in yourself, because often I fall into paralysis by analysis, which is I overthink whatever I want to make, and therefore I just end up not doing it. So use simple tools. So even in photography, shoot in program mode, shoot in P mode, don't overthink it. Or when you're writing, use a simple tool like IA Writer. Ultimately, with your photography and your tools and your tips and whatever you're trying to share with the viewer, overall, the best way to succeed as a modern photographer is to be enthusiastic, be passionate, don't fake, don't front. Don't make things too well polished. Try to make it like every single day life, raw and uncensored. So if you want to learn more about how to succeed as a modern photographer, I recommend you to pick up a copy of Modern Photographer, and it will include lots of different tips, techniques, and strategies for you to succeed and to thrive as a modern photographer in today's world.